Your Humanities Half Hour is brought to you by the Northern Marianas Humanities Council.
Hapade Zantero, welcome to Your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Perry, and today we're continuing our series called Making Marianas Home, featuring people from around the world who have come to the tiny Marianas to live and work. And it's my pleasure to have as our guest today Norman Del Rosario. Norman, welcome to the show.
Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, and thank you for having me and give me the opportunity to tell my story, share my story.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate you taking time to chat with us. You originally moved to the Marianas in 1995 from the Philippines. Where are you from in the Philippines?
Actually, I came from Manila. I'm originally from Manila. And yes, you're right. I came in here 1995. I was a fresh graduate in college, 1994, and then that's when I moved on this beautiful island.
How did you find out about Saipan, and what did you think it was going to be like? What were your expectations before you came?
Okay, I have a good friend of mine in College of Fine Arts. They have a business that sells printing equipment. Those are the big ones, the Heidelbergs, the four-color. And after our graduation, because I've been a working student, it's one thing that I think I'm proud to share is that I finished my college supporting myself. So a friend of mine said that we have a client in Saipan that is interested to buy some Heidelberg machine, but they're also interested in hiring a graphic designer. Because now that they upgraded their equipment, they want to upgrade the services that they can offer. So they asked me if I will be interested. So at first I was like, where is Saipan? At first I thought it was funny because there is an advertising agency in the Philippines called Saipan Bozell. It's one of the biggest ad agency in the Philippines, and they travel every year. So when my friend told me that there's an opening in Saipan, so I was like, that's a big ad agency. I think I'll try.
That's a big ad agency.
Yeah, I'll try to check it out. So they sent me to this manpower agency. So when I saw the building, I was like, wow, why is it manpower agency? Oh, I remember Saipan Bozell send their employees every year for a trip. So I was like, yeah, this is it. And then when I went inside and they started asking me if I have this, application forms and requirements, and I was like, we're talking about Saipan Bozell, right? No, you're going to Saipan. So I was like, Saipan. It's like, okay. So I said, can I think about it? It's like, can I come back after a few days? Because it's like, as a fresh grad, and I already experienced working in an advertising agency before coming here, so I was like, maybe I should think about it. And then I started searching books, because during that time internet is not yet that
right,
1995.
Yeah.
So just books and stuff, and that's when I discovered Saipan, and I said, why would I pass on this great opportunity to live in a beautiful island. It's like, because for us in Manila, for us to experience nice beach, you have to travel. Like you have to travel to Boracay, plane ride, or go far from Manila before you can see the beautiful beach. But here it's just like everything is just right here. So I told myself that I will not pass on this great opportunity.
So was it what you expected? In what way was it, and in what way was it different?
When we arrived, actually I didn't thought that we already arrived. there's an old guy that's sitting beside me, and I was like, the plane landed, and then I was like looking outside, and I was like,
There are no buildings.
I was like, are we on a stopover, or no, we're here? Really? That was just like 3 hours plane ride. They said USA. So I was like, and to top it off, I was wearing leather jacket because it was October. I was thinking, oh, October, it's gonna be cold. I was wearing leather jacket, and I still remember, it's the Continental Airlines. We arrived at, I think, like 5, 6 in the evening, and I was like, really, this is it? And then I asked him, it's like, why are you, if this is the place, why you're not, prepared? Oh, we just usually, let the people all go out first. So I said, so really, this is it? Yeah. And then he was like, oh, you're wearing leather jacket. I said, yeah, because the agency said it's USA. And October starts to get cold. So, I was thinking I did my homework, but I guess not. I did the wrong homework. So, and then we have this theme. It's not a theme park, but there's a place near the airport. It's called Nayong Pilipino. And every time there's a high school or elementary field trip, that's where the school bring us. Because Nayong Pilipino is a place where they showed, like they replicate what's in the north, what's in the south, what's in the,
okay.
So what's in Mindanao.
Yeah.
So when I first arrived, my first thought was, oh, this looks like Nayong Pilipino because the structure.
Oh, okay.
That's why I asked, like, are we really here, or are we just having a stopover?
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, I as far as I remember, that guy works at Hyatt. So I was like, yeah, I work at Hyatt. It's like, oh, they have Hyatt. So I was like, okay, and that's it. I arrived, and I was picked up by the people from my employer, and they've been very welcoming, and that's when I realized that, I think I'm in the right area, and I think I'll be good here. Yeah.
In what way did you find the culture and the community familiar to you, and in what ways was it maybe a shock, or at least different?
The first morning, the first thing that I did is, like, I asked my coworker that lives in the barracks that, can I walk around, because I love walking, just checking out. And I was like, yeah, just make sure these are the spots. So I started going around and walking, and like checking Joten, checking other stuffs, and people are very warm. It's like, I know that I'm not from here, and there are some things that I experienced. Especially, it was one of the biggest shock maybe that I can say is that when you cross the road, car stops. We don't. In the Philippines, it's like it cross at your own risk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm used to that. So when I started standing up there on the side on the side of the road, everyone stopped, and I was like, wow, it's like I'm really in a different place now. So yeah, that was the biggest shock, because everyone and people, I met a lot of people on my first day, and they're all very welcoming, and there's a lot of Filipinos. So I was like, maybe I'm just like in the province. So there's not really such an adjustment in terms of
And you didn't really have to pull out your leather jacket much after that.
Oh, yeah.
The weather was similar. So
Yeah.
You're currently the art director at IT&E. What was your career path from when you got here to where you are now? Did you stay in art design the whole time, or?
Yeah, actually, with the beginning, I didn't start at IT&E. I started with Pacific Printing. It's owned by the Ablog family, Nestor and Violi. So that's my first job. I worked for them for 2 years, and then I moved into Marianas Variety, as far as I remember. I worked for Marianas Variety for 1 year, and then Elite Printing was acquiring they started to ventured into sophisticated equipments in regards to printing. So I had a chance to talk to the general manager at that time, Ted. We call him Mang Ted. And he told me that we're excited to bring in a color separation machine. That you don't need to do this and that. It's gonna go straight. And I told him that I think I had experience working with color separation machine and stuff like that when I was in the Philippines, because working in an advertising agency, we do a lot of print ads, magazine ads. So those are things that I'm familiar with. So he asked me if I want to transfer with them so that I can practice the things that I've been doing before. And they also mentioned that they are venturing into expanding the graphics department. So they will not just be a printing company, but they can offer like advertising agency type of graphics, which really interests me because my background is really advertising agency.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started there, and then after Elite Printing, I work with a Metro Media company. It is a post-production company that do TV commercials and print ads. And the guy that is working there has been a good friend of mine since college, and we work together in the same ad agency. So it's like, all right, we're back. It's like you and me, we work on this. And then that's when one time I attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and Kerry Dietz. Kerry Dietz has been our client at Pacific Printing. So he was like, "Oh, what you doing?" We hi and hello, and I said, "Oh, I work in this company." And then he said that, "Oh, did you know that GTE Pacifica will now be Verizon, and we're planning on doing an in-house creative department rather than having an advertising agency." And it really excites me because when I first got in, it's like I know MTC, GTE Pacifica, those are the big companies that I think is at the back of my head, this is like the ideal company, ideal company to work with, because it's like it's a growing industry, telecommunications. So yeah, I grabbed that opportunity. 2001, I started working for Verizon, and then the Delgados bought the company, and then we became PTI, and then become IT&E. So basically, I've been with the company for 19 years since then. Yeah.
So after, it sounds like about 25 years of graphic design and advertising experience in the Marianas, would you say there are any particular characteristics or considerations when it comes to your advertising concepts in this community?
One thing, I think one of the similarity with advertising approach in the Philippines and advertising approach in the Marianas is the family orientation, because it's like we're similar in regards to close family ties. So those are the things that we need to touch on, that we need to really explore, because we are a small community that knows each other and care for each other. So I guess there's not much an adjustment in regards to what kind of style should I use, what kind of approach, or what kind of message. But yeah, basically it's more of a family oriented, honest, and sincere approach, because I think in some other areas, it's like where the bigger areas, it's something that you do need, an extra work, for you to touch those customers or clients. But here, you just have to be sincere and honest with them, what you offer. And I think, for the past 19 years working with the company, it's something that we value as a company, that we converted into our messages in regards to our advertising.
I would agree with you also. Based on my experience in PR, it's all about relationship and connection here.
Yes. Yeah.
We're chatting today with Norman Del Rosario, and we'll be back with more after this break.
Did you know that you can donate up to $5,000 to the Humanities Council through the CNMI Education Tax Credit Program? Donations from individuals and corporations qualify and can be used to offset your local wage and salary tax, BGRT, and earnings tax. Call our office at 235-4785 to see how you can support humanities programs in our community and obtain a tax credit for your donation. Sizuus Maasi, Olomai, and thank you.
Welcome back to your Humanities Half Hour. We're chatting today with Norman Del Rosario about his decision to move to the Marianas and make the Marianas his home back in 1995. Norman, you met your wife Beth here, and tell us a little bit about your family.
Yes, it was, I met my wife here 1995, and we are blessed with two beautiful boys, Enrico and Justin. Enrico's 23 years old, and Justin is 17. So I met Beth here. We got married here, and we started our family here in Saipan.
What do you feel have been some of the advantages of having your family here, and maybe some disadvantages, especially in consideration of your children?
I think the biggest advantage is like what I mentioned earlier about how the culture is similar. We have close family ties, and living here, it's not like in the Philippines. Oh, where you going? You don't know where they're going, because there's a lot of places that they can go to, and and you cannot keep an eye on them on where they're going. But I think here everyone knows everybody, so
everybody's keeping an eye on your kid.
Oh, I saw your kid here. Oh, I saw your so I think and I don't see any advantage bringing up
disadvantage
disadvantage of bringing kids up here. And I've been telling a lot of my friends, especially those who are just starting family, that this is a great place to raise your kids because of the values.
You're not the first person we've interviewed in this series that has said that. That's one of the great things about the Marianas. It's a good place to have a family.
Yes.
Talking about your community events, I know your older son Enrico is very much involved with football, and you were part of the start of the Northern Marianas Islands Football Association. How did you get into that, and what role have you played?
Okay, I started with my son told me that he's the football just started, and I remember back in the days we do football at American Memorial Park, and if it gets dark, we ask the parents to get around with their cars and turn on their lights, and that's my experience.
So the game can be finished.
Yeah, so
I remember that. Yeah.
So the game to get finished, and then I was involved with the club, the MP United Football Club, which is was formed by the wife of our former general manager, Larry Kinect. Sue Kinect organized that club, and I got involved with that. And they were like, oh, we need some parents, volunteers, and to help out. And of course, as a parent, I think I can help. I have experience on the different sports, but I think I'm willing to learn and learn the game. So that's when I got involved. And then NMIFA started having those coaching courses, sending coaches to to Guam to do this, and I did a lot of those. So I studied the game and learned it. That's when I started to be involved, and then it got further. I was named as team manager for the men's national team. So it was a great experience because not all parents experience watching their son plays, especially on the national team level. And then I just continue with that, and football has been so good, with my son. So, I have to help other kids out. That's what I'm doing right now. So even though it's weird to be in the field without my son, it's still the same. I think it's still the same purpose of like helping them out, helping the kids out, or see someone go out there and and continue playing football.
Being part of especially a very large sports organization like NMIFA, it can be very time consuming if you are involved in these different kind of roles that you've talked about. What is your motivation in giving your time like this?
One thing that I've been telling my friends and my family, why, because there comes to a point with MP United that I was coaching 3 teams. I got the U18 boys, the U15 boys, and I think I have the U16 girls.
Wait, were you not working at this time? Like, how did you even manage that?
Usually our practice time is at, like 5 to 6 and like MWF. So yeah, I still find time, and the company has been very supportive with that, since we have a lot of kids of our employees that's part of the team. So basically it's like helping
community service, in a way.
And I've been telling all my friends, the reason why I'm doing this is that the reason why I tried to be involved as much as possible is because the island has been so good to me and to my family. So it's something that I would like to do in return to to the goodness that I've experienced for how many years. And I think this is just a small way of me giving thanks to our second home. Yeah.
There's another organization that you were involved with when you first got here, dealing with what is it called? Motocross?
Yes, it's called. Yeah, it started with.
What is the official title? And it's so cool that you were involved then, and now it's reviving, and you're involved again. Yeah. What's the story behind that?
Okay, it's a cool story because it was Off-Road Association of the Marianas before it started with ORAM.
Okay.
And I live in CK, and for me to go to work, I have to be on the side of the road around 6 a.m. to look for a ride.
Oh.
I just hitchhike for me to go to work.
And what village were you working in?
I was working at Garapanera Marianas Variety.
Oh, wow.
So I think Marianas Variety or one of those companies. But yeah, I remember that, I have to wake up early, be on the road so that I can get a ride. So I started hitchhiking, and then one time, someone stopped, and it's like, oh, you need a ride? It's like, oh yeah, I'm going. And that's when I met Cookie Alvarez. And then we were talking, and then he was like, oh, did you know that, I have a lot of Filipino rider friends, and I will have an international race. And I said, oh, I'm a graphic designer. Maybe I can help you. Since you helped me to get to work, maybe I can help you to do graphics for your event. And then before I got off from that car, Cookie told me that, hey, starting tomorrow, I don't want to see you there. Go knock in my door, and I'll drop you off to your work. So that's when the friendship really started. And now we finally got Cowtown Raceway Park again. So
just
Motocross is back.
Just a few weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Motocross is back with same people, Cookie Alvarez, me, and Steve Sablon, and there's a lot of new people now involved, and it's good to see that there's a lot of young kids. Young kids are involved. And we are proud of the people that got involved with motocross, who are now serving the government.
For people who may not really know much about the sport, other than maybe what they see in the newspaper or on the local news, what do you think the significance of the revival of the Marianas Racing Association means for the community?
Okay, because if you will remember, during 1995 to 2005, every time we have the 4th of July parade, the next day is the big motocross race, and everyone is there. It's always been the biggest community event, and we brought in a lot of international riders from Japan, Philippines, Guam. So basically, motocross has been a big part in terms of bringing in tourists, because a lot of people, especially when we have a Japan team, there's a big crowd, and it's an event where you don't need to be local, you don't need to be Filipino, you don't need to be Japanese to be there and enjoy the race. So it's like everyone's having fun. So I think that's one thing that I can say, that motocross is fun, and it's just, I don't know, there's just something.
Do you ride?
I do ride, but
not very fast.
Not the racing one. Yeah, I'm on all the activities or the events or the things that I volunteered myself.
Yeah.
I'm not a soccer player. I'm not a motocross rider, but I just love to be on the backside doing the thing that I can help out.
Yeah.
Graphic design, the marketing, and all those stuff. So, yeah. But I'm not a racer.
Well, I really want to thank you for making time to share your story. Is there anything else you want to mention about your life here that maybe I didn't ask about?
I think we got it covered, but first of all, I would like to thank the CNMI, the whole CNMI, because I've been to Rota, I've been to Tinian, for work and some vacation, and I never felt that I am someone from the outside. It's always been a welcoming approach with the people. Same thing with Filipinos. We're very hospitable. We're known for. So living on the island is just like I'm home, and we felt that everyone is sincere in welcoming us. Everyone is sincere in being good with me and my family. As I've said, the island has been so good to us that I'm always thinking of a way on my part, how can I repay the island's goodness, and and I think sports and graphic design has been my way of giving back to this beautiful island.
Well, definitely, we've all benefited from the contributions that you make, both in your professional life and your community life. Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
Our guest today has been Norman Del Rosario, and we've been chatting as part of our series, Making Marianas Home. He moved here 25 years ago from the Philippines, and enjoyed sharing his story about his life here. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's show. You can contact us on Facebook at 670 Humanities. And if you'd like to hear more of the show, you can check out our YouTube channel, the Northern Marianas Humanities Council. This has been your Humanities Half Hour. I'm Catherine Perry.
This program was supported by a We the People grant awarded to the Northern Marianas Humanities Council from the National Endowment for the Humanities. Any views, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily represent those of the National Endowment for the Humanities or the Northern Marianas Humanities Council.